We're on. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our monthly council meeting, June the 21st, 2021. I'd like to welcome our Deputy Mayor McCollman, all my fellow councillors. We have our CAO, Rob Philpott, with us, as well. The Director of Finance, Kristen Dunsford, is with us. And we have our Police Chief, Dave Poirier, and our Fire Chief, Ron Inman. And we have Colin McLean here from the Journal Pioneer. Welcome, Colin. And we welcome all viewers on YouTube, and there'll be members of the media watching, I believe, as well on YouTube. And a special welcome to our MLAs. We have Trish Altas with us tonight, and Lynn Lunn. Welcome to our City Council meeting. And I believe I included pretty well everybody. Don't think I missed any introductions. Chris Palmer is with us tonight. I guess on an item that, the way the agenda is set up, this is the last one on the agenda. Rather than you sit here all evening waiting for that one, maybe if it's agreed to by council and Councillor McFeely, maybe we could shove that one up to number one once we get going here. Okay, number 5. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. And is there a motion to approve the agenda with that change I suggested? Moved by Councillor Snow and seconded by Deputy Mayor McCollman. All in favour say aye. Contrary nay, carried. Any conflict of interest declarations? I do not see any speaker lights on. So could we have a motion for the minutes to approve the monthly council meeting minutes of May 17, 2021, and approval of the special council meeting minutes of May 12, 2021, May 19th, 2021, June 1st, 2021, and June 15th, 2021. So you get an idea how busy it's been around here. So it's moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Duran. Any questions? All in favour say aye. Contrary nay, carried. And there's a very special, couple of special items on the agenda tonight too. And I'll put my mask on here. But we have a long-time employee with, pardon? I'm not sure she's here. Oh, they're both there. Oh, Sheila? She's here, is she? Yeah. Ronnie, do you want to go? Okay, sorry. I thought I did see her at the beginning then. So good evening. We have a couple of very special items on the agenda tonight. Sheila Laughlin is a long-time employee with the Credit Union Place in the City of Summerside and Community Services Department, and we'd like to make a special presentation to you to thank you for your many years of dedicated service to community service. And I would call upon the Chair of Community Services, Councillor Snow, and I believe Deputy Mayor McCollman, Sheila Laughlin is a constituent of yours, and maybe the Director of, would you come forward too as well, Councillor Adams, and assist in the presentation? And we'd call Sheila upon to come up front and Sheila Laughlin. Now, if I could read this in the minutes. On behalf of City Council and our residents, thank you for your over 13 years of dedicated service to the City of Summerside Community Services Department. We wish you all the best in your retirement. So we'd like to present this to you and reach across to the Carrie. Congratulations, thank you. And you're welcome to say a few words if you want, or not. Go ahead.
I would like to say served at Credit Union Place, it has been my honor to serve the people. And I served a lot of seniors, and I served a lot of mothers with children on my shift in the early mornings. And I must say that it has been, I started in 2006 when we first opened the doors, and when I left, it was like saying goodbye to an old friend, because the people were what I really enjoyed. And I always wanted them to feel welcome at Credit Union Place and to feel that that was just their place as well as anybody else's. And so when you came in the door, that you were very comfortable there. And I truly miss seeing them every day. But I will again thank you for the opportunity to serve the Summerside residents.
While we're here, other councillors may want to say a few words. Thank you for your service.
I just want to say something. I used to babysit this girl. And we were kids in the same neighborhood, but just a real pleasure. Your family, Sheila, all of the girls, we had a great time growing up. And she's just as nice in person as she is just with all of the people when she worked with Credit Union. So, all the best.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair?
Oh, sure. Well, when Sheila, when I heard she was retiring, I told her at the desk we weren't gonna let her go. And right there, that's the reason, the way she just spoke about being an employee with the city and how she wanted to work to make that experience good for everybody that came through those doors is exactly what we want any employee we have. So thank you for that, and
Yeah.
really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you very much.
Any other councillors want to say?
I guess echo what others have said, and I never babysat Sheila. She babysat me at Credit Union Place, but it was tremendous going into the gym there in the mornings, and Sheila was the first face she saw, always with a smile on, always welcoming, and as a citizen, not as a councillor, just want to thank you for that, because it was most welcoming. It was very easy to tell how much you enjoyed your job and the service that you did for people. So thank you very much.
Madam Chair, Human Resources.
Yes, congratulations. I miss seeing your smiling face whenever we're coming into the cup and needing things and looking to find people. So I hope you enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Councillor Corona.
Thank you, Your Worship. And now I can finally put a name to the face, because I know I've seen you over the years at the Cup, and I know you've helped me a few times over the years since 2006. And I guess I can only say, what's 2006 to 2021, 25 years? 24?
6 to 21, 50.
I really need a calculator, don't I?
Just 15.
I forgot
Math isn't
the
your
tens
strong
place.
suit, no.
Anyway. No, I won't be an accountant here anytime soon. I can only hope that I'm, able to serve the city when I reach almost 16 years. So just, I'm not aging anybody here. It's a dedicated lady.
I know what he's going to say. Sheila.
Hey, I'm 60, yes.
I'll stop while I'm ahead. Congratulations, and more than that, thank you for your many years of service for our city.
Thanks, Councillor. Bruce.
Yes, first of all, congratulations, Sheila, on your retirement. And it was always nice to walk in and see a smiling face. You handled that job with class and did it well. And again, wish you all the best in your retirement. Thank you.
Councillor Ramsey.
Thank you. Well, Sheila and I grew up together, so it's an honor for me to thank you for your dedication to the city of Summerside and the great work that you did down there. And yes, always a smiling face, and we'll sure miss that. But I think we have some smilers down there now, do we, Sheila? We do. You made sure of that, right? Okay. All right. Thank you, Sheila.
I wondered where you went. I didn't know you'd be talking. We'll miss our little talks we used to have.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed you down there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
For
you.
your recommendation. And welcome to the meeting. You can leave whenever it's convenient, whatever you want.
Oh,
Thank
she's
you very
retired.
much. I'm retired.
And it's sunny outside.
So while we're here, we We have another very special presentation to make. Susan Bowness. She's been with the Traffic Guard Department for 30 years, school traffic. And I'd ask Councillor Ramsey to come forward as chair of the police committee. And Bruce,
Yep.
as the councillor, forward.
And Chief of Police.
The police chief. We'd like to present this. I'll read this into the minutes. I'll get my trifocals adjusted here. Present to Sue Bowness or Susan?
That's okay.
Okay. On behalf of City Council and our residents, congratulations on your 30 years of dedicated service as a school crossing guard for the city of Summerside. Thank you for your many years of dedication to our community from the mayor and council. So, 30 years, that's a long time. You're a good employee, chief.
30 years, she still goes.
And there's a presentation from the police chief as well.
Susan, on behalf of Summerside Police Services, I want to thank you for your 30 years of dedicated work for the city and keeping our children safe. So as a token of our appreciation.
No, I'm not much of a teacher.
Oh, yeah, right.
Mr. Bruce.
Again,
But
thank you very
thank you very much. I appreciate this.
All the best to you. Thank you.
Just a minute now, I need to say something.
Oh, no.
I've known this lady for a long time. In fact, I think she used to have a crush on me. No. She got over it, no. But no, Susan has been a neighbor for over 40-some years, and she has gone to the crosswalk every morning she would need to be there. And she did it with class. She had all the kids eaten out of her hand. And no, and the dogs too. She feeds the dogs.
She's still there.
She's treating the kids, and she's still there. And so, congratulations, Susan. I even wrote a song about her. I'll send it to you sometime. But no, congratulations, Susan.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
And I just have one thing to say, Susan. Bruce thinks every female's had a crush on him, just so. So your husband feels better.
So you're welcome to stay for the meeting or some of the meeting, but whatever you feel like. It's great to have your husband there. Do you want to get a picture with
And
Carrie?
his sister.
Oh, his sister.
Yeah.
Where's Rob? Do you
Come on
want
up
to
and
get a picture when they get their husband up? Do you want to be part of the picture? Because this only happens every 30 years.
Yeah, every 30 years.
So I'm
Come on, Liz. I'll let you next to her.
nice of
Keep her hands off me. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't need to get in. You get in.
No.
No, you get right in there.
I want to stand
All
on
right,
you.
all right.
Find out where the file.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you very much.
Very nice, very nice, very well deserved. Years ago, you guys are you going up? Are you?
Okay, thank you very much again, and we'll continue on with the agenda. And there was one item that a member of the public, Chris Palmer, is with us in regards to his project. And rather than have him sit here for 4 hours or so, I think it was agreed by among councillors that that item be moved up to now, sort of thing. So it was under Councillor McFeely's number 12. Sorry, number 10, yeah. So, Councillor McFeely, if you want to continue on, we'll,
Yeah, we have a couple of resolutions, Your Worship, so we'll move right into those resolutions.
okay.
Resolution COS 21-111, moved by myself, Councillor McFeely, seconded by Councillor Ramsey. Whereas an application was received from Amalgamated Holdings Limited for a zoning amendment for PID number 553875 from light industrial M1 zone to service commercial C2 zone under the City of Summerside zoning bylaw. And whereas zoning bylaw amendment 0135, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, was read and declared as read the first time at the council meeting held on May 19th, 2021. And whereas in accordance with section 5.7 of the zoning bylaw, council shall consider the following general criteria as applicable: conformity with all requirements of this bylaw, conformity with the official plan, suitability of the site for the proposed development, compatibility of the proposed development with surrounding land uses, including both existing and projected uses, any comments from residents or other interested persons, adequacy of existing water, sewer, roads, stormwater, and electrical services, city parking and parklands for accommodating the development and any projected infrastructure requirements, impacts from the development on pedestrian vehicular access and safety and on public safety generally, compatibility of the development with environmental, scenic, and heritage resources, impact on city's finances and budget, other matters as specified in this bylaw, other matters as considered relevant. Be it resolved that the zoning amendment 0135, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, be hereby declared as read a second time. And this bears the recommendation of the Planning Board meeting held on June 1st, 2021, Your Worship, and I will read Schedule B into the record, Your Worship. The zoning amendment 0135, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw. The Council of the City of Summerside, under the authority vested in Section 18, Section 19 of the Planning Act, RSPEI 1988, Cap P-8, hereby enacts as follows. The zoning for PID number 553875, shown on Schedule B of the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, is designated as Service Commercial C2 zone, hereby excluding it from its former designation of Light Industrial M1 zone, and the map is attached showing the subject property, Your Worship.
So it's been moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by whom?
Seconded by Councillor Ramsey.
Councillor Ramsey. You've all heard the resolution. Any questions? All in favour say aye. Aye. Contrary nay. Carried. Is that it?
Maybe just a quick comment, Your Worship, if I may, just thanking the proponent, for the redevelopment of that property. I think it's going to be a significant improvement along Greenwood Drive there and tie in really nicely with other things that are happening there. So,
Do you have,
thank you
is there
for that.
another resolution 112?
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Worship.
Yeah.
And we should move forward with that before we talk about it. Resolution COS 21-112, moved by myself, Councillor McFeely, seconded by Councillor Carrie Adams. Whereas an application was received from Amalgamated Holdings Limited for a zoning amendment for PID number 553875 from light industrial M1 zone to service commercial C2 zone under the City of Summerside zoning bylaw. And whereas zoning bylaw amendment 0135, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, was read and declared as read at two separate meetings of council held on different days. Be it resolved that zoning bylaw amendment 0135, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, be hereby formally adopted.
Moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Adams. Any questions on the resolution? All in favour say aye. Contrary nay. Carried.
And my
So-
previous comments would count now, Your Worship.
Okay. So that's all we have in that, and is there another meeting after this for, this ends this for the? Oh, yes. So is there another meeting for, to process it further at a meeting? Great. Okay, that's good then, thank you. So
Yeah,
who's
I
like-
just had something
ahead,
I wanted
sure.
to say to Mr. Palmer. Thank you very much for your interest in that corner. I can't wait to see it developed and what that's going to bring for the west end of Summerside. It's the place to be. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, like I said, you're welcome to stay for the council meeting, or as long as you like, but thanks for that, and thanks for your entrepreneurship and your development expertise that will take place. So we're back, sorry, did you? Okay. So we're back to item number 5. Okay, Councillor Adams, you have HR, Legal Affairs, Culture, Summerside, Policy and Bylaw Review.
Yes.
And you got a long agenda there,
Got
so
a
the floor is yours.
long agenda. Thank you, Your Worship. We'll start it with the HR Legal Affairs Monthly Report. Joint Occupational Health and Safety Committee, as well as department subcommittees, continue to meet on a regular monthly basis. The department provided support at various meetings this month. Contract negotiations continue with outside workers and the electrical union. Summer students have been hired at Culture Summerside and at Credit Union Place. And as we just did a few minutes ago, congratulations to Sheila Laughlin, who retired this month after starting at Credit Union Place when it opened. They have in 2007, but she says it's 2006, so we'll go with that one. And that's it for that report, Your Worship. I can go right into the next one unless there's any questions.
I do not see any speakers' lights on, so you can continue on.
Continue on with Culture Summerside. And the Three Oaks High School graduate art exhibit. Culture Summerside is excited to once again host the Tosh Art Exhibit. It has been a June art exhibit for a number of years. The staff feel it is a privilege to display the work of community youth, completing their high school years and moving on to the next step in their life journey. The grad class art students are excited to invite the public to view their work. The students exhibiting their work are Josie McDonald, Olivia McKinnon, Landon Tietro, and I'm sorry, Landon, if I didn't pronounce that correctly, Lauren Storty, Maya Burnett, Emily Doucette, Jameson England, and Lacey Arsenault. These students have had a broad range of experiences in their studies in art at Tosh for the past 3 years, including a focus on drawing instruction, all painting mediums, sculpture, printmaking, and art history. We invite everyone to come and view the exhibit and to support our talented youth artists in Summerside. The exhibit is open to the public Monday through Friday from 9 to 4. It is free of charge, and the Lafergie Cultural Center is located at 205 Prince Street, Summerside. So if you check out the Culture Summerside Facebook page or website, the information is on there as well. The Summerside Arts Festival, Wyatt Heritage Properties, Inc., has received funding from the Department of Canadian Heritage and Innovation, PEI, for the presentation of the 2021 Summerside Arts Festival, slated for July 19th through the 21st. The 3-day festival celebrates the arts in our community through exhibits, artist and artisan demonstrations, and musical performance. Again, this year, a drive-through art exhibit will be featured on Prince Street, and artists, artisans, musical performances, and demonstrations will be presented as a walk-through experience on the lawn of Wyatt Heritage Properties. The festival continues to grow in popularity each year with both the communities and the visitors. And it is really neat to see. It caught my eye when I was going down Granville Street one day last year. Summer students, 5 summer students have begun their training as museum interpretive guides and frontline workers. I should also mention that I believe Lori said that a student has started a bit earlier and they were assisting with some prep work over at the Armory as well, so that was good. The Old Fashioned Carnival is normally delivered in June, but is being considered for a date late in August. Didn't want to just give up on it, so we're trying to delay it because it is very popular. This is dependent on COVID restrictions and CPHO guidelines. And the Lobster Carnival. The 2021 Lobster Carnival will concentrate on the delivery of a delicious, cost-friendly, traditional lobster supper takeout style. Tasty Island treat will be available for pickup from the comfort of your car and appeal to a variety of senses as the sights and sounds of live music flood the drive-through environment. This traditional lobster supper is prepared by Chef Robert Pendergast. Includes a 1-pound island lobster, potato salad, coleslaw, locally made
cookie and beverage. In the spirit of accessibility, this amazing supper is priced at $20 plus tax. The drive-through will be located on Prince Street, and the date for that is July 8th from 4 to 7. Tickets are going fast, and they can be purchased on the Summerside Lobster Carnival website or purchased in person at the Lafergie Cultural Center. So yeah, if you go on the site there, you'll catch your eye. It's yellow with blue and red, and Summerside Lobster Carnival and Facebook, and you can buy your tickets that way. And that's it for Culture Summerside report, Your Worship. Anybody
Okay,
has
I
any
do not see
questions?
any questions. Lights on. Councillor Ramsey.
Yeah, okay, so that's it then for Lobster Carnival week, right, Carrie? There's nothing else going to happen, just a lobster supper, like there's not going to be any other activities?
It was
or?
dependent on what we could do, and right now she's trying to, you know, set up some smaller maybe entertainment venues throughout the city, but as of now, there's no big, because it's very hard to plan multiple small entertainment venues for up to 50 people, so this way. So
Right,
anyway,
it's
but
harder
yeah.
to,
Yes,
okay.
but she is constantly sending in ideas for CPHO approval, and we'll do what we can with what we have, for sure.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah.
sorry, Norma, I'm just, but the races will happen
Yep.
still,
Yep.
as they're
Yep.
still a go.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the first race date might be July 4th in the afternoon, and that's Harness the Hope that they're doing that afternoon. I think that 12 races are all going to have blankets presented through the Cancer Society, through Harness the Hope, who's Sam Gallant, and I know the city has purchased a cooler. Anyway, so I just wanted to kind of put that out there for folks to know that that's taking place
Yeah.
on July 4th and in the afternoon.
Yeah, if you go onto the Red Shores Facebook page or web page.
You'll
it
get
has
more information
all the-
on that.
Yeah, yeah, for all racing on the
Yeah,
island. It's on
okay,
there.
great,
Yeah.
thank you.
And Councillor Carrie, I was just wondering, I had a few seniors asking that attend the concerts in the park.
Mhm.
They love that. That's their weekly entertainment. So I'm wondering the same idea,
Same
crowds.
idea. Yeah, it was like crowds would be limited, and yeah, so it's all based on, but Lori, she has her summer students on now, so they'll be getting that information out to people as soon as, I know it is very popular, and especially now, I know Councillor Corey and I with our work with the seniors committee, they feel like now the COVID's lifting a bit more, they feel like getting out a bit more too, they've said, so yeah, we're eager to get things like that in place for
I
them.
think they like the music, but they also love the homemade ice cream
Yes, yeah.
and strawberries.
Yeah, who doesn't? That's great. I'll move into bylaw policy review unless there was anything else. Okay, I'd like to bring everyone up to date on the latest efforts of the BPR committee. As part of our effort to ensure our bylaws are consistent with provincial legislation and other requirements, we are updating various bylaws as new information comes to our attention. We have a new bylaw as well as proposed amendments to 3 existing bylaws to consider this evening. So I'll just read the report and then we'll move into the bylaws and getting those passed. The first one is procedural bylaw. Earlier this year, the province enacted several changes to the MGA, which require corresponding amendments to the city's procedural bylaw. The proposed amendments to the bylaw are twofold. Electronic meetings. The proposed amendments follow recent amendments to the procedural bylaw regulations under the MGA, which provide clearer rules for conducting electronic meetings. And that's in section 10. And also what we're going to discuss this evening, patches are available for the public if you need one. The other one is committee terms of reference. The procedural bylaw regulations require that committee terms of reference be spelled out in the procedural bylaw. The terms of reference proposed are the same terms of reference from the city's former committee bylaw that was enacted in 1999, except that the Bylaw Policy and Review Committee is a new committee whose terms of reference were drafted based on a policy document from the former Governance, Policy and Strategy GPS Committee, and that would be in section 28. The first reading of this proposed amendment will take place tonight. Access to information and protection of personal information bylaw. The second piece of business concerns our access to information bylaw. The current version of this bylaw was drafted based on the MGA regulations. The new version was drafted based on provincial freedom of information legislation. When drafting the old bylaw, it was unclear which of these two legislative regimes applied, so the decision was made to go with the MGA regulations, which provided more authority for council and better cost recovery. The Privacy Commissioner took the position that it is the provincial legislation that applies and made a compelling case for this. The new bylaw accords with FOIP and has received the Privacy Commissioner's blessing. The second reading and formal adoption of this amended bylaw will take place tonight. And the Open Fires bylaw. The committee, in consultation with Fire Services, and thank you, Chief, Ron, for your work on this, reviewed the feasibility of implementing an open fires bylaw for the city. At the present time, there are guidelines in place to provide oversight of these fires. However, the committee is recommending that a bylaw be put in place to regulate this issue when it would be more appropriate. First reading has taken place at the May monthly meeting, and we are proceeding with the second reading and formal adoption of this bylaw this evening. And records retention bylaw. The province revised the schedule in the records retention regulations under the MGA, which came into force on January 30th, 21. The schedule being enacted aligns with the new requirements set by the province, and this will be confirmed in a resolution tonight. Unsightly premises bylaw, the final one. One other project the committee is working on concerns the unsightly premises bylaw. The committee previously reviewed this bylaw to ensure its criteria was sufficient to address any and all properties that fit the definition of unsightly. More council has expressed a desire to develop other tools that may help us in addressing unsightly properties in the community. And to that end, the committee has looked at various methods, legislation, and processes used by our communities across the country. We will bring the results of our review to council in the near future. This concludes my report for the month of June, and myself and CAO Rob can answer questions on that. I do have a host of resolutions to do, but if there's any questions before we start.
No questions, just a comment. It's pretty obvious with all the resolutions coming tonight that your guys' committee has been very busy, so just good work at the committee level, and keep it going. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I guess if you have a resolution, is that 116?
This would be resolution, yeah, I'm just gonna sit down because I have, like, Brian made me some little notes here, so I don't wanna get mixed up, and I'm closer to the mic.
And
So-
you're a little closer to the mic, I think
Yes.
that's important.
So, resolution COS 21-116, moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Norma McColman. Whereas updates have been made to CS-2 Procedural Bylaw, be it resolved that CS-2 Procedural Bylaw be read a first time at this meeting. And just so you know, this bylaw is to recognize the functions of the city that provide an open, orderly forum for input, debate, and discussions.
Moved by Councillor Adams, seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Any questions? All in favour say aye. Contrary nay. Carried.
Okay. And like I mentioned before, it's like 24 pages, so we're not going to read it all out, but there are copies available if you'd like to.
And it will be online too.
And it'll be online too, that's right. Okay, Your Worship, I'll keep going if that's good.
Go ahead.
Resolution COS 21-117, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Justin Duran. Whereas CS-2 Procedural Bylaw was read for a first time at this meeting, be it resolved that CS-2 Procedural Bylaw be declared read a first time.
117. Moved by yourself and seconded by Councillor Duran.
Justin Duran, yep.
Trying to catch up to all the resolutions here. Any questions? Councillor
Just
McFeely.
a question on item, well, just want to make a point on item 20, delegations to council, and the timeframes that are proposed in the bylaw, and they haven't changed any, but delegation to council's presentations are supposed to be restricted to 15 minutes. And we've had them run for an hour and a half type of thing, so I don't know how we curtail that a little better in the future. And the other one I'd like to have a little discussion, not a discussion, just make a point, is the 28.2. The Committee of Council. And I don't want to get into any debate on this tonight, other than to say that that whole Committee of Council approach to governance, I was always a big proponent of that, as you folks know from your very first meeting. And we don't want to go there again. But having said that, I would have difficulty supporting the motion on a point of principle, so I just want to make that point, that I would be a descending vote on this motion, really on a point of principle.
Which one is that again, sorry, Councillor? Well, yeah, what number again?
28, it's 28 really, Your Worship, and it's really around the governance model with the Committee of Council and 3 or 4 committees as opposed to the 6 or 7 committees, and we've had that debate, and you know, accept the result of that debate and respect the result of that debate, and we'll work within, you know, the framework that the majority of council agreed to. But I just want to make it clear, and on a point of principle, that I won't be supporting the motion. So, thank you.
Okay, and that resolution was resolution number 107
117,
or 117?
yeah.
Moved by yourself and seconded by
Councillor Duran?
Councillor Drawn. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary nay. Carried. 7-1 vote. Thank you. Continue on, Councillor Adams.
Resolution COS 21-105, moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Whereas CS-20-29, Access to Information and Protection of Personal Information Bylaw, is a bylaw to provide the public right of access to certain city records and to control the manner in which the city collects, uses, and discloses personal information. And whereas CS-29, Access to Information and Protection of Personal Information Bylaw, was read a first time at the May 17th, 2021 monthly council meeting, be it resolved that CS-29, Access to Information and Protection of Personal Information Bylaw, be read a second time at this meeting. And I'll just give you a quick, Your Worship, the short description of the bylaw is to provide for the public right of access to certain city records, to control the manner in which the city collects, uses, and discloses personal information.
Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Contrary nay. Carried.
Okay, and I'll keep moving on. Resolution COS 21-106, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Justin Duran. Be it resolved, CS-29, Access to Information and Protection of Personal Information Bylaw, be declared read a second time at this meeting.
Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Councillor Duran. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Contrary nay. Carried.
Moving on, Resolution COS 21-107, moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Whereas CS-29, Access to Information and Protection of Personal Information Bylaw, was read a first time at the May 17, 2021 monthly council meeting and read a second time at this meeting, be it resolved that CS-29, Access to Information and Protection of Personal Information Bylaw, be formally adopted.
Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Contrary nay. Carried.
Resolution COS 21-108, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Justin Duran. Whereas CS-35, Open Fires Bylaw, is a bylaw to provide guidelines for the oversight of open fires in the city of Summerside. And whereas CS-35, Open Fires Bylaw, was read a first time at the May 17, 2021 monthly council meeting, be it resolved that CS-35, Open Fires Bylaw, be read a second time at this meeting. And I have a short description. It says Open Fires Bylaw is a bylaw to provide guidelines for the oversight of open fires in the city of Summerside. Your Worship.
Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Councillor Duran. Councillor Snow, you have a question or comment?
Just a comment, just so everybody's clear, this not including a backyard fire pit.
It's not
that would be a
recreational,
closed
it's
fire, it's burn permits,
It's
etc.
burn permits that we usually would have went to the province for, and there seemed to be a little gap between us and them, so this'll close the gap.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, nay. Carried.
Okay, COS 21-108, move, oh, that's the one I just did, sorry. Good, there's enough, I have to read them twice. The next one is COS 21-109, moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Be it resolved that CS-35 Open Fires Bylaw be declared read a second time at this meeting.
Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Carried.
And resolution COS 21-110, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Justin Duran, whereas CS-35 Open Fires Bylaw was read a first time at the May 17, 2021 monthly council meeting and read a second time at this meeting. Be it resolved that CS-35 Open Fires Bylaw be formally adopted.
Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Councillor Duran. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, nay. Carried.
And I think this is the last one, right, Rob? This is, okay, didn't miss any. Okay, so COS 21-115, moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Whereas the province of PEI has published a new records retention schedule, be resolved that the schedule of CS-30 records retention bylaw be revoked and substituted with the new schedule. And the schedule is attached and available for public.
Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Deputy Mayor McColman. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Carried.
Thank you, everybody.
So I believe we've caught up to last year's resolutions already, Brian, or a little more. And the year's only a half over, not quite, I guess. Anyway, thank you, Councillor Adams. That's all you have for now. Okay, we'll continue on with police services, fire services, and emergency planning. Councillor Barb Ramsey.
Okay.
And we have the police chief standing. He must be going to make a presentation. I think you're within your 6 feet. You should be okay.
Pardon?
You're within your 6 feet. You should be okay without the mask.
Fine.
So sometimes with the masks, it gets a little muffled, the sound, but you could speak loudly. Go ahead,
Good.
sorry.
Okay, no, I'm just waiting for the go-ahead there. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, and welcome, Chief, and welcome to our MLAs in the audience this evening. And I'm going to do fire services report first for May 2021. There were 29 fire calls during the month of May, 3 medical first responder calls, 10 alarm panel calls, 3 electrical fires, 3 mulch fires, 3 smoke complaints, 1 carbon monoxide call, 2 miscellaneous calls, and 4 cancel calls. Firefighters trained a total of 398 hours for the month of May. So they were very busy volunteering their time. The notes from fire department, there were a great amount of time and effort is put into the annual pressure testing of all of our hoses. It's much better to find problems now as opposed to during an emergency. All firefighters who drive an emergency vehicle were required to participate in a 2-part course called Coaching the Emergency Vehicle's Operator. Fire Chaplain Corey Summers, took part in 2 20-hour courses entitled Assisting Individuals in Crisis and a Group Crisis Intervention. And thank you, Corey, for that. He's doing some great work over there as a chaplain, and I know that Chief is always building him up on how well he's doing, and we're very pleased to have him. Chief Inman would also like to announce Summerside's newest firefighters and welcome them aboard as Murray Spencer, Chris Avery, Zach Culleton, Keith Johnson, and Tommy Campbell. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. I hope they have a fine career with Summerside Fire Services. And I'd like to take this time to congratulate two individuals, and one being Lawrence Lapierre, who has served 38 years as a firefighter and 33 years as fire hall caretaker and maintenance worker. Congratulations on your retirement, Lawrence, and thank you for your dedication to Summerside Fire Services. And that being said, I would like to congratulate Kenny Blanchard on his new position as caretaker and maintenance. He's starting on Monday, the 28th of June, and he's pretty excited to be going into that role. He's also one of our deputy chiefs, so congratulations to Kenny and to Lawrence. That concludes my fire services report.
Thank you. Any questions for the Chair of Fire Services? No questions? You continue on with your next report.
Continue on, okay. So I'm going to go into our emergency measures report completed by our CAO, Rob. We've had a busy time this last while with our emergency measures, and as part of its ongoing emergency preparedness, the city recently participated in a tabletop exercise that was facilitated by the Provincial Emergency Measures Organization. This session provided an opportunity for the city to test and mobilize its response to an emergency. We were joined by community partners during this exercise, which helped raise our awareness of things we have done and still need to do to better prepare our community to respond to future emergencies. The engagement was quite positive, and we are working with the provincial EMO to assess our plan and further refine it where needed. So Deputy Mayor, of course, attended that day, and a lot of people did. It was a wonderful experience. Our mayor was there, and yeah, it was great to get the feedback from the province, and of course our chief of police and fire, and everybody was there who would assist us in an emergency. In addition, we are continuing to strengthen our relationship with the community we serve. Recently, we met with members of the Christian Council of Summerside to build upon much of the work that we have done in partnership with them over the past year. It is great to see the engagement with our partners, and we look forward to continuing to work with them in the weeks and months ahead. So we have some more meetings planned with them, I believe in September, just after the summer, and they're very, very keen. The Christian Council is very, very keen to help us out with our emergency plan. They have lots of resources within the churches, and they're more than willing to offer them to Summerside City, and we're just thrilled that they're on board with us, and they feel the very same way. So that happened. Is there any questions around that?
I don't have a question, Councillor Barr, but I did want to make a comment from that meeting. I think something that the City of Summerside Council, Mayor and Council, as well as senior management would need to be aware of is the comment that back before Dorian, Hurricane Dorian, the council at that time, they were down to about 4 members. People had lost a lot of interest. They didn't feel like they were being utilized on council.
You mean the Christian Council?
Yes, Christian Council, I'm sorry. And after Dorian, to be approached to, not our councillors, sorry, but they were approached to, to consider partnering in case of emergencies, that sort of thing. And it has really revitalized them as a Christian council. And I think it's so nice because a lot of the people that they would serve are people that we would serve. And, it shows the community working together. So it's just one of those good news stories.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So that's it. Okay, so if there's no more questions, I'm going to go into police services. And for the month of May, members continue to do some virtual meetings, although with the restrictions loosening up, more in-person meetings are expected. During May, 2 of the Summerside Police Service members attended the Atlantic Police Academy as instructors for several days to train the current class of cadets in standard field sobriety training. During May, our new part-time officers qualified in firearms and CEW taser training conducted by our own training officers. Also during May, several road checks were conducted focusing on cell phone usage while driving and other infractions. Several charges for cell phone usage were laid along with other highway traffic infractions. During May, several Summerside Police Service members assisted a local school in doing practice lockdown drills. Deputy Chief Sinclair Walker assisted the Lieutenant Governor as an aide-de-camp as she attended the Holland College graduation. One member volunteered in coaching the Three Oaks ball hockey team and also volunteered at the College of Piping. The following is a list of some of the occurrences totaled for May 2021. Calls for services were 659, traffic accidents were 20, reported crimes of assault and threats were 27, theft reports were 38, impaired driving offenses were 9, Highway Traffic Act charges were 84 plus 39 speeding, break and enter reports, businesses and residential were 7, and drug enforcement charges were 11. And that is it for, thank you Chief Dave for this report. That is it for the police service report. If there's no questions, I will go into the resolution. Oh, Councillor Snow?
Just a question here, we're saying break and enter and theft reports, and since we have Chief Dave here, I'm wondering if we're seeing an increase in that area. Just from me reading papers and listening to the news, it appears that there's been more car thefts of lately and break and enters or entering onto properties. I'm just wondering if, as chief, if you're seeing an increase in that area or is it just ebb and flows with sort of what's going on in the community?
Councillor, it just comes in spurts. I mean, with summer coming, the thefts from vehicles are expanding again. I know one year we had hundreds and hundreds, but not nearly as much, knock on wood. I mean, we don't know what the summer's going to bring, but there's a lot of younger people on the go all hours of the night, and it's funny, not funny, but a lot of people now, residents are putting cameras up, and they've been a great help to the police service, and we just continue on,
and I guess that was my reason for asking, just so the public maybe is aware and we know to look out for our neighbors, because people are around people's houses and
yeah, sure, and by way of this meeting too, we're asking the public to please call if they see somebody around their residence or sneaking around their residence. Some people don't call till the next day, but certainly it's a help to us to catch a perpetrator if it's done the same night.
Sure, thanks.
And I want to get you, Brian. I think that it's important to say that we're living in a different time, and I think that we're not the only community that these crimes are increasing on, and we're great to put things out on social media, and we do. Like every time you send a report out, Chief, I copy that and I put it on my social media for everyone to read. I also try and copy the good stories, but because I don't want people to think that, this community is full of crime, because it's not. It's per capita, we're probably maybe even lower. But I just wanted to say that, because I think it's important. Always keep an eye for each other, that's for sure, our neighbors and whatnot, but.
So, Councillor, we as well, by way of media releases, we also put things on social media as well.
Oh,
our
absolutely.
Facebook page, and
Yeah.
keep the people aware.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor
Just
McFeely.
very quickly here, it would be valuable, and I don't want to go to any great work, but if we could see those incidences, month after month after month, so you can see if there's any trends in the report would be interesting. And I don't think it'd take a lot of work to be able to provide that. Secondly, I just wanted to thank yourself, Chief, and the deputy for assisting, working through kind of a complex situation in my ward, and the professionalism and I know the communication there has been be very careful with my words here, has been, you know, very professional, and I know the people involved have a little better sense of confidence. It's a difficult situation for you folks, almost impossible situation in some ways, but you work through it in a very professional way, so thank you for that, appreciate that.
And Councillor, your first comment about the charges and we're keeping a running tally now for the last few months, and we'll be presenting a report to the CAO and the Deputy CAO on the current trends.
And that would be wonderful if maybe we could put that out here on council when that's completed. I'd really be interested in doing that if that would work. If there aren't any more questions, I do have a resolution that was presented to me here tonight. And it is Resolution COS 21-113, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Greg Campbell. Be it resolved that the City of Summerside CAO allow an inspector to enter upon the property situated at 405 Chestnut Avenue, PID number 307371 in the City of Summerside, and have the property brought into compliance with the requirements of the City of Summerside's Dangerous, Hazardous, and Unsightly Premises Bylaw, CS-11. This cost is to be initially borne by the city and invoiced to the owner. As well, council directs staff to utilize all legal means at its disposal to effect a permanent solution to the ongoing unsightliness of this property. So with that, I'm going to pass this over to our CAO for explanation, and he and Chief can comment on this.
Okay, thank you, and then we'll vote on it afterwards.
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead, CEO Philpott.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Madam Chair. So just a little bit of history, or I guess a refresher for members of council and the community. This property has posed some challenges in the past with respect to the unsightly premises bylaw. Members of council may recall that there was a resolution that was passed just over a year ago on this very property, authorizing staff to take the same steps as what's being proposed this evening. That resolution was valid for up to a year, and given some ongoing challenges that we've had with this particular property in terms of compliance with the bylaw, we, at the last committee meeting, police committee meeting, we asked council for direction on how to proceed. Hence, that's why we have the resolution here this evening. More recent news for members of council and the community is that a recent inspection of the property has revealed, at least insofar as our police services who have toured the property, met with the tenant, it seems like there's been some efforts to tidy up the property to a reasonable extent. Having said that, given some of the ongoing challenges that we've had with the property, we're asking council if they would give us the authority to renew this resolution again for one more year, because what that does is that it gives us, through my role, the authority to keep an eye on the property on a more regular basis without having to come back here asking council for permission. Okay. Our attempts to reach the property owner have not met with much success, so we've been dealing with the tenant for the most part to date, and I guess that's where we are with the process at this point in time. And Chief, I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to add in terms of additional context, or
I believe, CEO Rob, that you sent a photograph out to the members of council
yes, I
today?
did. Yeah.
So I took that this morning, and a week and a half ago, this is this gentleman's front step, and there was an old tank, oil tank, there was a stove there. So he's made quite an effort already, and particularly doesn't want us on his back property, so it's hard to see what's back there, but he's made quite an improvement to what it was a week and a half ago.
And in view of those improvements that have been made, still though, it's a file that we need to keep, or a property that we need to keep a regular eye on, to be fair. So that's the reason for the proposed resolution that you have in front of you tonight.
Okay.
That's
So
it.
this actual resolution that we're voting on is just to say it gives the city the authority to keep an eye on that property for another year, is what you're saying? Okay.
And Councillor, just for Council's information, the gentleman that's renting the property was advised of tonight's meeting. He could attend if he wished,
Okay.
that there would probably be a resolution passed, so I don't see him here. He was asked if
He
he
was
wanted to come.
invited to come. Okay, great.
So just a question on that, I guess we didn't vote on it yet either, but bring it within compliance. Who's the judge there, sort of thing? The neighbors or who?
Well, we're continuing, in addition to this resolution, we're continuing to explore what other legal options might be available to council to make sure that the property comes into permanent compliance without having to keep revisiting this issue.
But if the court decides that it is or it isn't, then we did all we could do.
Exactly, yeah. We want to be able to show that we've taken all reasonable steps to get to a certain point. Right?
Thank you. So you ready for the vote, everybody? Oh, Councillor Duran.
Oh, Councillor.
And Councillor Snow. Thanks, Councillor Ramsey. I guess I just had a question. If, I guess for Chief Dave, if it came to the point where we needed to administer services to clean the property up, you mentioned that you've had some trouble getting in contact with the actual owner of the property. So I'm just wondering who would burden that cost? Would it be the tenant or the owner?
Well, in recent months, I personally have sent a letter to the owner in Ontario with no response whatsoever. I have contact information, but this lady never got back to me at all. So we also produced the same letter to the tenant as well. And I would suspect if we proceeded, it would be up to the tenant to, he's the one causing the issue. But again, we may have to get some legal opinion on that.
I think on our resolution, it says invoice to the owner, which would be the property owner, which if it's not paid, like, our bylaw has in it where it gets, there's a lien to the property, so.
Yeah, that would be
we're
the
not
next step.
reinventing
Yeah.
anything, if we're going as per our bylaw.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, I do not see any other lights on. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Contrary, nay. Motion carried.
Okay, so that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ramsey, and we'll continue on with the agenda. Municipal Services, Councillor McDougall, you have a report. No resolutions.
No resolutions. Thank you, Your Worship. I have a report here that's been prepared by our Director, Craig Goody. In comparing sewage receiving numbers with other years, the waste water treatment plant has seen an increase in drop-off sewage from pumpers of 50%. Don't ask me why. The sewage treatment plant performed the following maintenance this month, I should say. Secondary clarifiers have been cleaned. Cement tech mixer has been repaired. Rotary drum injector nozzles and drive chains replaced. And air pool received a thorough cleaning. This is the first time since the plant started operations. Public Works installed 4 speed bumps in Arcona, Craig, Beaton, Robinson Avenues. 2 additional speed bumps were procured. No parking signs have been installed along Maple Avenue and Greenwood Drive. And hot asphalt road patching continues throughout the city and is expected to be completed by the end of July. All water breaks from the previous winter have been repaired. Driveway culvert repairs have seen 20 completed so far, and they're on the second list of addresses now. Street signs have been repaired and noted from winter damage and weather events, high winds, etc. Pope Road, Mill Crescent, Chestnut Avenue, Saunders Avenue, etc. The right-of-way repairs have been completed throughout the city from winter plow damage, topsoil and seed. Traffic line painting continues at a good pace with 84 of the 180 crosswalks completed. Sidewalk maintenance has commenced with 56.28 square meters of sidewalk blocks replaced. The street sweeper continues not to work well, and it's still emitting dust and plugging in certain conditions, and the operations department is currently working with the company, and I think as recently as yesterday or today, there's been another letter gone off to the company to come to the table and repair this or replace it.
It's around, Bruce, I see it around.
Yeah, it is, but it's not working. No. It's a mess. It was by my place and there was no dust and it was still blowing. Anyway, 32 water samples were taken with clear bacteria, 15 chlorination samples taken, all within parameters. 3 water service were repaired this month. A couple of water main breaks. 8 water taps have been completed for contractors and new developers. And 10 water turn on and turn offs for the month. And sewer effluent to the harbor, 328,213 cubic meters treated, with 174,784 gallons of septic received from the plant to the plant from outlying areas. And 355 tons of biofertilizer were created this month at the treatment plant. That's my report, Your Worship.
Any questions for the chair? Councillor Snow?
Yes.
Councillor McDougall, just under the traffic line, painting, crosswalks, et cetera, 84 of 180, and I'm in no way talking bad about our staff, so I want to put that out there first, but we're less than 50% done. We're into almost the 1st of July, which would normally be a busy summer. I'm wondering if it's not time that we look at options to get it done in a more timely manner. I know we've discussed the second line crew, whether or not we consider, I know I've had some chats with other councils, whether or not we start considering painting at night when it's, I don't know, I just feel that if we're less than 50% done and we're almost at July, I don't know if we're, I can tell you I've had chats with people that don't live in our community that say to me, you know what, if instead of going to Summerside, I go to Charlottetown because they have, everything's painted, they know which way to go. So if they live halfway, they go the other way to shop just because they might not be here enough, they don't know which lane to go in. They just, I just feel maybe it's something to look at, and our staff are extremely busy, they're out working, no doubt about it, but maybe we can take another approach at it or something.
Yeah, we can definitely have another conversation around it. I know we've had the conversation in here before. We've had it during our council or our budget meetings and that type of thing. I think the bulk of the real important ones are done around the schools and major intersections have been completed. There's some of them that we're probably waiting because we have construction happening, but I know they're out there all the time, and in fact they're there at times when we don't want them there, but anyway, that's the way we have to get them done, and so you know, if there's another way, we'd love to hear about it, but right now we can just do with what we have, so. Councillor
My
McFeely.
question is about the famous street sweeper.
Street sweeper. Yeah.
Dusty. Call him Dusty. Call
Yeah.
him Dusty. I was by it the other day and it was bad. Anyways, I just wonder, like, I feel real bad for the staff person that's having to drive that thing, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, like, at what point is enough and what legal
We're at that point.
repercussions do you have
I
here?
believe we're at that point. You know, we've had the company took the machine back. They modified it as modified as they could get. They spent a lot of money on it. They spent a lot of time on it, and it is still not producing the way it should. It's you know, and you know, I feel sorry for the driver. I feel sorry for the staff that have to continually work on that. And, you know, we need to bite the bullet and take a stand on this. We need that replaced. So there's a letter gone out to the company to come to the table. And so anyway, we'll deal with that.
Bruce, I think
Yes, sir.
that Joe, who drives the
Yeah.
street sweeper, I think he deserves a big shout out because like,
Joe, yeah.
every
Joe
time you
Newman?
see him, he's just, he's poor guy.
Joe deserves a medal
He
because
does.
I've seen him a number of times, and I could go by it and come back up, and he's probably out of the machine
Trying to,
trying to
Yeah.
adjust something. So
and he's always
it's-
ready with the big wave, so
it's really frustrating.
he's
Yeah,
keeping his spirits up
No,
there, but it must
that's
be
right.
very frustrating.
I
for him.
appreciate that, and we'll pass it along. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDougall. Councillor Campbell, how are your windmills working?
Got them going again.
You got them going, that's good.
Summerside Sunbank, request for proposals for engineering, procurement, and construction services closed on June 11th, 2021. There were 6 submissions to be elated over the next few weeks to recommend awards on the battery storage, the solar farm, and the utility interconnection works by the evaluating committee. Work continued to reroute electrical wiring around the new Central Street roundabout. At the end of May, the electrical substation suffered from a failed voltage regulator in the wee hours of the morning, which has caused an estimated $150,000 of damage and will take a few months to repair. The timing for repairs is highly dependent on the material sourcing. Work focused on cable installation operations at Starlight Subdivision and at the Bernard Acadian Avenue Extension. The Starlight Subdivision is ready for energizing the lines and allowing development construction to commence. The Bernard Avenue Extension is 90% complete and will be ready for new home construction by the end of the month. Water and Harbour Street traffic light repairs, substation lighting, and Bruce's boardwalk lighting repairs. 2021 meter change continues. Generator number 5 yearly maintenance was completed. Heather Moyse and Water Street traffic lights repaired. 2 water heater repairs under the Heat for Less program. 2 radar speed signs were installed, one on South Drive and one on Water Street. Linklater Wellfield generator backup repaired. Generator number 2 turbo coolant leaking repairs are underway. The heat exchangers are on order. Queen Elizabeth Park lighting was repaired for the season's activity. I was up Sunday night to see the new junior team, and there was no game. They couldn't get umpires. I was quite disappointed. Generator number 8 was put into operation in 1983. The governor replacement work has been awarded and will be completed by the end of August. General operations statistics. 38.8% of our electricity came from wind in May, but realized that about 1 week of that was when we were shut down, the windmills. Generator run hours were 16.5 hours. 16 new electric customers energized this month. 6 electrical service upgrades. 11 new poles were installed and 1 removed. 4 transformers were installed and 1 removed. 2,035 meters of primary wiring installed. And 44 service calls were responded to this month, which you can see, Your Worship, was busy time at the electrical department, and that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Councillor Drawn, you had a question?
Yes, Your Worship, thank you, and thanks, Councillor Campbell. I just wanted to, I know you mentioned that there's an area of Gavin Estates and along Pope Road that we're experiencing some power outages, and that's been repaired. I just wanted to, through you, Mr. Chair, I know that there's some areas there in Gavin Estates that have been experiencing random power outages for a very long time, like even certainly prior to Dorian, and I've been trying to, kind of gather a history and an explanation for them. So I'm just wondering if this is in fact, you know, the end of it, or is there possibly some more, you know, issues there that might cause some more random power outages in the Gavin Estates area? I've just been trying to get to the bottom of it over the last few months. It's been happening quite a lot.
I believe Mr. Goody said that they're kind of troubleshooting. They fix and repair one item and see if that's the problem, and it's hard to really define it.
Okay.
Apparently is a problem.
Yeah, and I know like with the Pope Road construction, they've been kind of bypassing some things there to add extra voltage where, or maybe that's not the word, but extra power where it's needed, and that obviously isn't heading in the right direction. That's kind of, you know, causing some more issues. But I just wanted to bring that up and mention it because I know a lot of people there, they're getting frustrated, and then, you know, they'll calm down a bit, and then it'll happen again, and rightfully so. So just hopefully something we can keep an eye on over the next few months.
I believe we have another outage scheduled in that area, so.
Yeah, okay.
Councillor Ramsey.
Well, I just have to give a big shout out to Pauline Dicey because she's often sending us out messages constantly for us to advise our constituents, and so if you could pass that along, Councillor Campbell, I'd appreciate that.
Anything further then? If not, we'll continue on with the agenda. And I believe the next item on the agenda, I'll get my trifocals adjusted here. Councillor Drawn, you have the floor, sir, at Technical Services Chair.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm not used to being this low in the agenda. I'm usually number 3. Got the old switcheroo. Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with it. I like to sit and relax and listen a little bit. Okay. I'll start with my report, and then there's a resolution that that came out of a meeting we had. I think it was just last week. We just didn't get to the resolution on that night. We ran out of time. So I'll start with my report, and I'll thank Director Aaron McDonald for preparing this tonight, and welcome everybody who's watching, and to our MLAs who are present here this evening. The 2021 construction season is in full swing. Staff have closed and awarded the majority of the city's tenders for this season. The sewer work on Autumn Street is completed. The Pope Central project is ongoing, as I'm sure everyone by now has become aware of, as well as some paving and sidewalk. Water main replacement on Central Street and sewer main replacement on Heckbert are progressing along. Work is also happening at the intersection of Walker and Granville. The boardwalk replacement tender is just getting going, and it's anticipated that a few other tenders will be starting shortly. We continue to update our website on the progress and various locations where our city projects are happening. Staff continues to review and assist the public with pending developments and building permits to be issued for this year. Staff had another busy month with numerous planning-related activities. We had a discretionary use for Langell Court, zoning amendment from an M1 to a C2 on Greenwood Drive, and a couple more mobile sales establishments. We also brought forward and processed revisions to our R4 standards to bring them more in line with other jurisdictions. This month we will be having meetings on 2 restricted uses on Industrial Crescent, a rezoning for a major residential development on Water Street East, as well as a rezoning on Central Street for a car dealership. 24 building permits with a value of $12.6 million were issued for the month of May, with a total year-to-date value of $28 million, which is almost half of that was in May. So May was a big month. We issued 2 semi-detached, 2 commercial renovations / change of uses, 3 single-family houses, and 1 4-unit townhouse, and 3 residential and industrial additions. We also had 4 deck and sign permits this month, as well as 1 large commercial permit for the hotel on Notre Dame. We had a good variety in the type of permits issued this month to support a diversity in development in our city. 3 of the 5 and 6 unit townhouses on the upper end of McEwen are coming along, with 1 getting close to completion. Developers are stopping in and speaking to staff for assistance with their proposed projects for 2021. Citizens are also encouraged to ask for assistance with their projects that they may have planned for 2021. And that concludes the monthly report for tech services, and I just wanted to send out a big thanks to the crew that does the flagging at the Granville Walker work that's going on. I've had a few people get in touch with me just to say how smoothly they're moving things along down there, and it's certainly appreciated. So thanks to them.
Thank you, Councillor Drawn. Any questions? I got 2 lights on. Councillor Snow and then Councillor Campbell. I believe that's the way
I know we talked about this in the past, it's the Walker and Granville, and the discussion on whether or not we were gonna be able to get some dedicated turn signals from the Walker onto Granville, because I don't think originally that was part of the realignment or redevelopment there, but to be honest, it's the one thing that I've always heard, and I know other councillors heard the same, and we talked about moving possible lights from another location once they're not needed, but I'm just wondering if that's ever been finalized or decided upon.
I can certainly follow up, but I know just from driving it, I did notice a new light that has a left arrow on it. Kind of weird, it's in the middle of the array of lights.
As long as it's there.
But that's going west on Walker, so it's overhead, so there's definitely something there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Campbell.
Oh, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Philpott and the directors that helped us out with, when you're working on we call it the Pope Road extension, all the traffic went up and got into some of Councillor McFeely's district too. We got a speed hump there, and we got 2 or 3 more on Robinson and Beatty, so we've been asked people for a little patience, and because it's going to be tore up at least for another month or 2.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Councillor McFeely and then Councillor Ramsey.
Just further to Councillor Campbell's comment, we did move the speed bump from the lower end of Arcona Street up to the upper end, just because we only have so many of these temporary speed bumps, and now we're getting a number of complaints once again down in the lower end of Arcona. So it seems that we can't win. We have limited resources, so I think we need to have a discussion at some point about that whole speed bump solution, because I know I had many complaints prior to that speed bump going in the lower end of Arcona. Once the speed bump went in, there wasn't a complaint. Within almost hours of the one being up in the upper Arcona Street, the complaints started to roll in. So perhaps we can have a discussion on that at the next committee meeting.
Councillor Ramsey.
Thank you, and that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. I've been getting some complaints on Lafergie because they're not going down Robinson, they're coming around and they're going down Lafergie now because they're trying to avoid that roundabout, and we know this is temporary, but the folks that have to endure it right now, and I spoke with CAO, and one of the things we thought we could do is just move one of the speed, like start moving them around a little bit. But then, Brian, it's Councillor McFeely, it's that same problem. Once you put one in and then you take it away, because I did get some calls that it was really working on Robinson. There's still a lot of traffic, and they're kind of going around the speed bump on one wheel, but it's really slowed them down. So it doesn't, I guess it would slow the traffic down as well as far as the amount of traffic. But so you're right in that we should come up with some kind of a solution, even if it's temporarily. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say that because I'm certainly getting some complaints, so.
And one of the great things about just the size of the city that we have is our road network. There's lots of different ways to get from one way to another, but you can't have somebody directing thousands of cars to, so people. Lots of side streets and there's lots of ways to get from point A to point B, yeah. But everybody wants to take the same one, so what can you do? So if there's nothing further, I do have one resolution that's kind of I guess, left over from a previous meeting, but we'll get to it tonight.
Yeah, well, we're used to the resolutions here now. I think we're
Yeah,
up-
well, just
up
one
to
of them.
125, or something.
It's quick. There's no
Floor is yours,
supporting
sir.
documents. So it is Resolution COS 21-104, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Snow. And if anybody would like to, get further details on this, I guess I would just refer them to either the minutes of our last special council meeting or the video up on YouTube, because we discussed this quite a bit and get some background on it. But so Resolution COS 21-104, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Snow. Whereas tenders were called for the Reed's Corner Lift Station Project 2021, and whereas the following tenders were received, there was one bid from Kern & Briggs Limited in the amount of $1,195,423.85, including 15% HST and a schedule of 15 weeks. And bid number 2 from Ron's Plumbing and Heating, Inc., bid amount of $2,616,250, including 15% HST and an 18-week schedule. Be it resolved that the tender submitted by Kern & Briggs Limited for the Reed's Corner Lift Station Replacement Project 2021 to a total amount of $1,143,448.90, including 10% HST, be accepted as it was the lowest tender received. This bears the recommendation of the Technical Services Committee of June 15th, 2021.
Moved by Councillor Duran and seconded by Councillor Snow. Quite a difference in the price there, 1.4 million higher in one of them.
Yeah, and I do actually, just noticing myself in the resolution wording there, it says 10% HST included, whereas in the table it says 15%. So the bottom. We get 5 back, okay. We get 5% HST back, okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
That's 5%, yes, it is. Any further questions on the resolution? If not, are you ready for the vote? All in favor say aye. Oh, sorry, Councillor Adams.
Sorry, I was just wondering, I had sort of asked at the last meeting when the Tech Services was here to talk about it, if the residents in the immediate area had been advised or not that there was going to be some work going on right around the area.
I haven't heard whether they have been or not, but I'm sure that it would be a pretty easy, my assumption is that it would be a pretty easy task to, just if the residents in that surrounding area are going to be notified that there's going to be work in the area.
The Reed's Corner lift, so I'm not exactly sure where that is. I know where Reed's Corner is, but
It's right before you get to the Starlight Diner.
Little brick building.
so it'll be on water. Yeah, will there be a street closed off at 8 in the morning sort of thing? Is that what you're thinking about?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, in addition to, like, Ross Avenue, where you have, like, people come out of Lafergie that way if they're heading towards Charlottetown in the morning. But then you also have the traffic coming, currently it's on Water Street East, and they're moving it onto Ross Avenue, so sort of kitty corner. So we don't need another road slowed down coming and going with traffic when we have so many others, so I was just making sure that that's kept in mind, even though it's not a road work, it's going to affect it some, so.
So the time of day,
Time of day and just the residents, so they know, like, it's summer, they like to be out in their yards, and if there's going to be digging and everything going on, it might be nice just to give them a little heads up.
so staff will look after that. Thank you. Oh, did we vote on it? No, not yet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary nay? Carried.
And that is all I have, Your Worship, for technical services.
Thank you, Councillor Drawn, for your report and your resolution. And we did the planning board, and now we'll go to financial services. Deputy Mayor McColman, you have a report, and guess what? Another resolution.
We're doing pretty good. We've been here since 4 o'clock. I don't know if anybody is ready for some hot cocoa, but anyway, I would like to bring the Department of Finance report. It's been prepared by Director Kristen Dunsford. She's worked on it and submitted the report for public transparency. I'd like to say good evening to all of my colleagues on City Council and to the business and residents of the City of Summerside, and also welcome to our MLAs that are sitting in the gallery. They've been here all night, so thank you for being here. We would like to remind businesses and residents within our municipal boundary who receive their electricity from Maritime Electric about our rebate that is available to credit for the additional cost for your January, February, and March 2021 utility bills. Maritime Electric applied their rate increase effective January 1st, 2021, and this rate increase was not effective for Summerside Electric customers until April 1st, 2021, when our budget came through. The rebate application form is available on our website, and the link can be found in the upper right-hand corner of the website. Also, a copy of your utility bill must be submitted. The approved credit will be processed on your next water and sewer utility bill. If you do not have a water and sewer bill with the City of Summerside, a check will be issued to you directly. If you receive your electricity from Summerside Electric, you are not eligible for this rebate, as the electric rate adjustment was not effective until April 1st, 2021. So please contact us at 902-432-1230 if you have any questions, or email customerservice@summerside.ca. So that's customer service altogether at summerside.ca. The Minister of Fisheries and Communities, the Honourable Jamie Fox, issued notification that several deadlines for municipalities have been extended again this year. Due to this extension, the annual year-end audit and submission of financial statements are not due to be submitted until October 15th, 2021, an extension from July 15th, 2021. Our year-end audit is well in progress. Soon we will be determining a date to present our 2020-21 financial statements. It is expected that this presentation will occur during the month of July, even though the deadline has been extended to October. Our preliminary results of projecting a small surplus for 2020-21, we will report on the 2021-22 year-to-date results at the end of our first quarter, which is April 1st through to June 30th, 2021. And now, at this time, for an update on the status of our utility accounts receivable. As of June 10th, 2021, the following is being reported. Total overdue balance is $174,200, which is compared to $182,100 at May 10th, 2021. Approximately 1.6%, or $2,839 of the overdue balance is greater than 60 days past due. This compares to 22.2%, or $428,700 5 years ago, May 6, 2016. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present this report, and either myself or Chief Financial Officer, Director Dunsford, are available to take your questions. And also, I do have a resolution to present this evening on the PEI elections online voting for PEI municipalities. And also, I want to remind my councillor colleagues that included in your financial report package, you should have received also your expense and revenue summary in your package, just to give you a breakdown, and the revenue streams. As well, you should have received in your package the summary of capital expenditures, which just gives you a breakdown of the projects and the payment stream. At this time, just as I close, I wanted to acknowledge a 100th birthday recognition to my neighbor, Ray Rene Dion. He's a World II veteran, and he turned 100. He's our neighbor, and just a lovely gentleman. And also, Mayor Basil, I happened to attend where you were present as well for a wreath laying at the Memorial Square for the, with provincial and federal representation for the 77th anniversary of D-Day, and that was something that's very important to remember. So that concludes my report, unless there's any questions or comments.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Snow, you have a question?
I just wanted to make sure that it's accurate. So it says approximately 1.6%, or $2,839, is now 60 days overdue.
Uh-huh.
But in May 2016, there was 428,700 that would be in the same
Category. Yes.
That's correct.
Wowzers.
So that is the dedication and hard work of the director and staff
Thank
members
you,
and our
finance
former
and whoever
director,
else.
CAO. So that's good, you know, and I think it's really good because we did commit to, you know, bring that in our report monthly, and I think that that's good to, you know, just to show that it is coming down.
We had a change of policy on it too.
Yes.
New collection policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Working.
So I do have a resolution, Your Worship.
Yes, go ahead. On the elections, PEI.
Yes. Okay, colleague members, Resolution COS 21114, moved by myself, Councillor McColman, seconded by Councillor Brian McFeely. Whereas Elections PEI is considering adding online voting as an option for the 2022 municipal election. And whereas Elections PEI has asked the cities of Summerside and Charlottetown and the towns of Three Rivers, Cornwall, and Stratford to consider online voting as an option. Be it resolved that the city of Summerside supports the ability to have online voting as an option, along with having 2 advanced days of voting.
Moved by Councillor Deputy Mayor McColman and seconded by Councillor McFeely. There's only one thing that it doesn't mention anything but voting on election day. That's still going to be allowed for as an option, but I don't think it states that in the resolution. It just says advanced polls and an option, but I think it should include election day as well. Yeah.
plus election day.
Yeah.
Two advance polls plus
Two,
election day,
yeah,
plus
plus election
online.
day.
Yeah.
So just need to put election day in there.
So they'll have the option of voting at the polls or online or advanced polls.
Yes. So you'll second?
Good.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll just add the amendment, just for clarification, in the last line. Be it resolved that the city of Summerside supports the ability to have online voting as an option, along with having 2 advanced days of voting plus in-person voting on election day. And that is also seconded by Councillor McFeely.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. And you had mentioned, I'll just throw this in, I didn't have my correspondence there tonight because it was a long schedule, but we had a good presentation out in Borden this week for the Canada Games, and that was great. And also I attended the youth graduation ceremonies on a couple of days ago, or whenever it was. I just forget the dates. I have so many appointments. And the Youth Development Center, what's the official? East Prince Youth Development Center. So that was a very nice ceremony, and we had our MLAs there, as well as the government representative and leader of the third party, and so it was a great presentation and a great little ceremony. So that's just a couple of things of last week, but the list was fairly long of functions to attend. So we still got a couple more items on the agenda here. We're moving right along here. So we're going to Councillor McFeely. You're back on the floor with economic development.
Economic development, Your Worship, thank you. And it's my pleasure to present the economic development report for the month on behalf of myself and my Vice Chair, Councillor Durand, and Director Mike Tutuska and Neil Moore. Well, there's lots happening in the department currently. I'm going to keep my remarks somewhat brief this evening and focus on one item, the core block. I want to update Council and the public on our advancement of the core block priorities. There's lots of other stuff happening and some major projects, and hopefully we can report on those in the months to come.
Brian, would you mind just explaining what the core block
Oh.
is, so that folks out there know what you're talking about?
Yeah, the core block is the Summer Street, Water Street corner there, that the buildings that were taken down there last summer, last fall.
The downtown core.
Since the closure of the recent RFP, we felt it was a good time to present an update. As a bit of the background, the city took over these properties, given the lack of traction, to find a path forward to bring new life through a comprehensive redevelopment of these properties. And with our commitment to rejuvenate the downtown, took a leadership role in starting a more progressive approach through the acquisition and demolition of the derelict properties. Given the challenges with COVID and other supply chain issues, we did forge ahead with a public RFP in late March to seek a developer or a group of developers to propose development concepts for the signature property downtown. We have heard feedback throughout our process that we were going through an RFP process for the sake of doing so, and then agreements were in place post-RFP to move forward on the project with an already selected proponent. This is the furthest from reality in regards to this project, and in fact, we were attempting to attract innovative developers interested in collaborating on this significant project in the downtown. Again, I want to assure the public this evening that this RFP had no predetermined suitors for the redevelopment, and in fact went through the RFP to refresh the ideas and approach to this significant redevelopment opportunity. Specifically, we asked for, 1, make the best commercial and residential use of the property in terms of diversity and intensification. 2, advance the goal of the city's downtown urban core plan. And 3, contribute to the creation of a mixed-use district that enlivens and enriches the downtown core. Since the closure of the RFP, the City of Summerside has received an expression of development interest from the RFP. The proposal did fall short in terms of our expectations from the issuance of the RFP, but provided significant interest to further explore development ideas and a path forward to bring this significant investment to market. While the nature of the proposal and the path forward are still in the premature stage, we will be working with this proponent to further flesh out options to bring this concept to market. We are currently having discussions with several investors, as well on ways to move this project forward, and encourage anyone interested in developing this project to contact the department to explore some collaborative approaches. It is critical that we as a city seek a highly qualified and capably developed team to maximize this site, and have every confidence that this project will transform the downtown through a mixed-use residential and commercial development. That is our strategic intention, to see that through. So to conclude, the property is open to anyone wishing to put forth development ideas and partnerships as defined in the RFP to help us transform this property. We are committed to, and I know this council is committed to, seeing a mixed-use project for these lands, and we are confident of that will come to fruition. So, thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor McFeely, for your report. Any questions for the Chair of Economic Development? I do not see any lights on. Okay. Thank you. And we'll continue on then. Councillor Snow, Community Services, things are busy in your department as usual.
Things are really busy. I just want to start by thanking Director J.P. DeRoger, who compiled the report. The month of May was jam-packed with recreation program and activities for the Community Services Department, starting with the first inaugural Shipwrights Run. The 10-kilometer or 5-kilometer running race was announced and is set to take place on Saturday, June 26, with all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society. The department later announced that Summerside Toyota will match all proceeds as a donation to the Canadian Cancer Society. The Active Living Division were busy with plenty of recreation and programming in May. They offered various themed days at Credit Union Place, such as May the 4th Be With You, Star Wars theme, Pirate Day, which is a pirate themed, and Marvel Day, which was a comic book themed. Each of these days had various offerings and activities that provide the opportunity for kids to stay the day at Credit Union Place and enjoy the facility. The stay of the days continue to receive a lot of interest and are often sold out. Summer camps were also announced by the Active Living staff that offers both week-long and day camps throughout the summer, each having a different theme. The camps focus on providing kids with opportunities to learn, be active, and have fun. Week-long camps sold out immediately, and a few spots remain for the individual day camps. Active Living also offers programming for adults and seniors, one in particular being Positive Strides, which is a six-week day walking 6-week dog walking program that starts at the dog park every Saturday. Track Your Trails is another program that entices residents to get out and enjoy city parks and trails. Those who send in snapshots of their GPS tracking are eligible to win an Active Living prize pack. Credit Union Place announced a youth summer pass to Credit Union Place, which for $50, youth can gain full access to the pool and bowling lanes at Credit Union Place for 9 weeks over the summer, which is a great deal. Rec and Go continues to be offered at Credit Union Place that offers facility users the opportunity to take advantage of their lunch hour with a workout, swim, and take out lunch from 511 West for $15. Sport Entertainment Tourism Summerside has a few event announcements in May, one of which is an international wrestling event called the Canada Cup. This Wrestling Canada event is set to take place at Credit Union Place on July 2nd, 2022. The sought-after event is expected to attract wrestlers from countries such as South Korea, USA, Russia, Japan, and Germany. This event is expected to feature 2 local homegrown wrestlers in Legrit Sidiku and Hannah Taylor, which will create an exciting experience for local fans. Hockey Fest was also announced in May, which is the world's largest traveling road hockey tournament. The all-ages event, which will feature 9 outdoor, half-sized NHL rinks with real boards. The event was set to take place on July 1st to 3rd, 2021 at Credit Union Place, but due to COVID, it has since been bumped up to August 27th to 29th, 2021. The Fred Page Cup Host Committee continues its preparations for the 2022 event and launched the tournament logo in May. Planning for the event is starting to take shape, and more details regarding tickets and ticket packaging will be coming soon. The spring edition of swimming lessons continued in May and will soon be coming to a close, soon to be followed by announcement of the summer edition. The Aquatic Center continues to be busy with aquatics, fitness classes, Master Swim Club, Dolphin Swim Club, and recreational users. Themed birthday parties continue to be a hit at Credit Union Place, which saw 14 in the month of May, and Veterans Convention Center saw a total of 37 bookings. With the Atlantic Bubble planned for June 23rd, staff are excited and preparing for a busy summer ahead. That is the report. I do have a couple comments, unless there's some questions.
Any questions for the chair?
I do.
Councillor, 2 lights on here at the same time. Go ahead to Councillor Ramsey and then Councillor Kim.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Snow, I realize that the hotel, they've started the procedure down there, and I wonder if you have any kind of an update on where it is or how long it's going to last, or because people are asking me all the time, and maybe you don't have those answers, and that's fine, but we can, whatever you can tell us about that.
Pretty good understanding for sure.
Okay.
So I was by there today. They're currently in the footings part of the stage, so they are putting in their forms, and we'll be pouring cement once the form work is done. So followed by the construction of the hotel. I think all plans is for it to be open in the summer of 2022. So that's their plan, unless there's delays, but we're hoping that it's moving right along as scheduled. And
12 to 14 months, I understand.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So
that's good for folks to know out there. And just the other question I have for you is on the dome, and I know there's a lot of talk about that out there too, so I'm wondering where that is.
So they started some initial site prep work last week, just water work, underground work that has to be done. I expect, or we expect as a city, to see dozers on site anytime here in the coming days. And that work's supposed to be up and done in November, so it's a quick turnaround. Work's gonna start and be done in no time, so.
Okay, and in conclusion, that's all happening in Ward 3, which is my ward, so I get lots of questions on that,
Well,
so.
it's pretty close to Ward 4, but anyway.
Well, it's not though. No, but anyway, yeah. But anyway, just wanted to answer those questions for those folks, because I
Yeah.
am getting some calls, so
No-
thanks, Corey.
No worries, tell them to reach out if they have any questions, or go to you and we'll get through it.
Thank you, thank you.
Councillor Campbell.
Just a comment, I got 2 grandsons that are tickled to death and all excited about the Tenacity Hockey School. And I hear that it's going for even an extra week this year, it was so popular.
Well, I can't confirm or deny that, Greg. I really, to be honest, I don't know, but I do know Tenacity Hockey is a hit with all our hockey families from across PEI. Coach Billy McGuigan and the Glamp Boys, and they do a great job, and it's a great hockey school, and we're happy to host them. And if they want to go for another week and we can find the ice for them, I think that's great.
Goaltenders, are they? One of them. You're teaching them too, eh? Councillor McCollum.
It's more of a comment since it's in the department that you chair, Councillor Corey, but I think many people observed the Three Oaks Senior High virtual gathering on Saturday night, and just on behalf of Mayor and Council, just extending best wishes to all of the graduates, not only Three Oaks, but all of the other ones around the Summerside area, because it's a pretty big achievement for them. So,
It's a huge achievement, and COVID obviously put some wrinkles in it, but I know I worked with I had a few calls from the parents that were chairing that committee, getting everything going, and they were really working hard to make sure that it was a memorable experience, and JP and CIO Rob and the staff made sure that we did what we could to help them out, and I'm just happy that they could have a really good time, and congratulations to them all. Just one other thing, if there's, Councillor Adams, sorry.
No, I just wanted to give a shout out to the ballpark staff as well. They transition over from the cup to the ballpark every summer and get everybody going, and yeah, they're to be commended. They are right on top of everything, and people are very jealous of what we have. We're very lucky for what we have, and actually at the ballpark this year feels a little bit more like normal, so it's nice to be able to sit and watch a ball game. So
Yeah, I'm actually around the ballpark a little bit more now. My daughter just started playing softball, and it's an amazing facility, which I always knew because I was around there a lot over the last number of years, but it's something as chair I'm proud of, and as council we all should be, and residents should be, because there's a lot of communities that would really love to have what we have in that ballpark, and it's a great facility.
Just to add to the ceremony Saturday evening, I believe it was at the Credit Union Place for the Three Oaks graduates.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very well-attended event, I heard, because my granddaughter was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very nice setup at the Credit Union Place, the way they had it arranged for Three Oaks and the students, and she was very pleased, and off to Dal this fall.
Off to Dal.
Anyway, thank you for your report. You have something
I
further?
just,
Go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple. Today I took part in I don't know if you want to call it a photo opportunity, but it was a grand opening for the Elm Street Elementary School Park. Obviously they've been using it all fall and winter, but it was the first time where the committee was able to actually get together with the kids and staff and have a true grand opening. And I think it's important to note that all the funds raised were done through a parent-led committee. Unfortunately, we have MLAs here, but unfortunately, the province doesn't pay to have parks and the equipment in their schools, which personally I believe should be their responsibility. There's nothing more important than getting our kids out and active and recess and so on. And if they weren't able to do that, we'd have a lot less teachers teaching, I can guarantee you. So I would encourage our MLAs who are still sitting here after a couple hours to get on the other MLAs that are currently in power to encourage them, because it's a very small investment for what they get out of it. But I just personally want to thank Jody Sharkey, who took over as chair. I was sort of there when the committee started, And then I got busy with this council thing, and she agreed to take it over, and boy, did she ever do a bang-up job. She's an amazing person. Belcourt Construction, who made a significant investment, Silica Glass, Centennial Group, and the province was there. Minister Fox was there today. They made a contribution as well through a grant stream, so maybe they're realizing that it is important, so hopefully we can continue to find those streams, because if I was a parent group wanting to embark on that, it's a lot of work, and there's been a lot of parents that sold potatoes and kids that sold tickets. It's a lot of work. So yeah, and lastly, just the parents and kids who did all the work to raise the funds to do that, because it's a great park there. And then lastly, Councillor Adams, myself, and his worship, we have been meeting with the Seniors Advisory Committee. We've met several times. Joan Lafergie and Katrina McKay are two of the representatives from the community that are currently sitting on there. We are approaching another member possibly to join our group as well, and we're moving right along. And one thing we're realizing from our current role is that we do have a lot of things that are currently being offered in this community for seniors. It's just getting the information out there so they know what's being offered and how to get involved. So we're working really hard to, as the advisory committee, to form the new seniors initiative, whatever that may be, and we're working along that path. So I just wanted to let the public know.
I just wanted two things. One is sort of under you as well, Corey, that Summerside Area Baseball Association is celebrating 40 years.
Yes.
So they're to be recognized. I know that with the passing of Kobe Grady, there's been a lot of baseball stories floating around lately, and it was very timely that it was the 40th anniversary, and there's lots of pictures being sent in and so on. So
And there was a great video, and I think his worship maybe did a little cameo in that video there that's going around for the 40th anniversary, and it was a great video with some baseball local guys in it, and it was really good to honor our
Yes, your department put together quite a video there. They
Yeah,
got a lot of
it's great.
interviews around, and 40 years is a long time, and getting better every year.
Tanner Duran, there's no way we can talk about it without the work that Tanner and the board of Summerside Baseball have done over the last couple of years is absolutely amazing. Not that it wasn't previously, but they're doing a great job, so just thanks to them for all their hard work. But that's enough of talking for me, so thank you.
So,
before you
Councillor
adjourn,
Adams.
your worship, I just wanted to, since it's our last meeting before school ends, it's ended already, I just wanted to wish all the students and teachers and all staff in education a great summer. We got through one full year, and it was, we're very lucky compared to some provinces that we were able to do what we did. And I know in our house, we were very blessed to have an amazing teacher for somebody's last year of elementary school, and she was stuck here with us because she couldn't get back to New Brunswick, so everybody we took her on as our own family, and we love her just like one of us, so we're very happy that she got us all through COVID. So anyway, everybody have a good summer.
Thank you, Councillor Adams, and I believe Councillor Duran and then Councillor McFeely.
Yeah, thanks, Your Worship. I guess I just thought before we adjourned, if maybe we could mention that the July meetings are a little different. Different times, I guess. I don't know the dates right offhand, but maybe Brian back there can chime in with the different committee meeting time and the different monthly council meeting time, and I can keep talking until you're ready to go.
So yeah, I know it was on the agenda tonight, but I don't think it was on earlier, I guess, but I guess it was just, we missed it. So I think what was proposed was similar to last year, committee meetings the same sort of day, the first Tuesday of the month, but beginning at 4 p.m. The monthly meeting the same day, the third Monday of the month, beginning at noontime. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That'll be posted online and everything too, but just so any hardcore fans that we have, will give them a heads up for our new meeting times.
And they'll be on YouTube too.
So they can go back and watch.
Councillor McFeely and then Councillor McDougall.
Yes, I just Worship, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that today is National Indigenous Peoples' Day. I know there was a flag raising ceremony here this morning, and I know you took part in that, Your Worship, as did the Deputy Mayor, and I think Councillor Snow, and CAO Rob, and there may have been others. So, yeah, and there were others who got here an hour late, apparently. So it really recognizing the outstanding contributions of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people, and I think it's important that we recognize that, and particularly in light of the tragedy in Kamloops, and you know, given each of us given some personal thought to that and reflecting on that. So I think it's important to acknowledge that.
The invitation, it may have gone out already. If not, it will be going out, but the Chief Bernard from Lennox Island will participate in our Canada Day ceremonies. Now, Councillor McDougall.
Yeah, and just quickly, when Councillor Snow was doing his report there, I was going to mention, and I just slipped my mind, but over the past...
All Canadians, was it?
No, they're okay. Last week, the bench down in the boardwalk was damaged. This week, and this weekend past, this morning I took a picture of it and sent it to JP. One of the exercise machines was damaged. I think it's time that we looked at putting cameras down on our boardwalk. Prices of cameras are coming down every day. So maybe we put it on a committee meeting, but I think that, the place is, the boardwalk says till 10 o'clock, you're not supposed to be on there, but somebody's definitely in there and damaging our, stuff that people enjoy on a daily basis, and it's wrong. And, so I think it's time that we looked at some cameras on the boardwalk. So, thanks.
Okay, we've gotten to the end of the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn before we go off YouTube? Moved by Councillor McDougall and seconded by Councillor Snow. All in favour say aye. Thank you very much, and we'll just be a second here getting